Hey, what's up, guys? It's Renaldo here. On the 14th of May, myself and the South African Human Rights Commission met at the head offices in Johannesburg, and we discussed whether we could reach a settlement between the two of us. The reason for this is because in 2024, the South African Human Rights Commission opened a case of hate speech against me for a video that I recorded in 2010, which was 15 years ago. Now, during that sitting with the South African Human Rights Commission, we came to an agreement and we reached a settlement, which means that the case against me will be dropped by the South African Human Rights Commission, and I will issue an apology, and a settlement agreement will be made public by the South African Human Rights Commission on their website relatively soon. I'm not exactly sure when, but I'm assuming it should be by the 16th of May. Now, with that being said, I'm going to read out the apology, and unlike me just regurgitating it and reading from a piece of paper, I would rather share the text with you and read it in the same frame. So I don't want to read it off my phone or hide it behind this camera here and just make it look like I'm parroting it. I would rather ensure that you can see that the apology is sincere. So with that being said, let's get to it. Unconditional public apology by Renaldo Gouws. 15 years ago, on 11 March 2010, while I was a 27-year-old student and not yet a political figure, I recorded and published a video on YouTube in which I intended to comment on then ANC Youth League President Julius Malema's singing of the words, "Kill the boer, kill the farmer." I maintain that singing those words is insensitive, offensive, divisive, and deeply hurtful towards Afrikaners, especially those affected by violent crime in rural areas. However, I acknowledge that my critique itself was insensitive, offensive, divisive, and deeply hurtful towards black people. In that video, I started with the words, and I'm going to highlight it here so that you can see it. I'm not going to repeat it. Although I followed this with the words, "I didn't mean what I just said," it was unacceptable for me to have used such violent language to make my point. I accept now that these racial slurs have been correctly declared by the Constitutional Court to be unutterable and racist. Further in the video, I described Julius Malema as an ignorant little effing black idiot and referred to those who sang along with him as effing barbaric people. In the same video, I claimed that some of the policies introduced in democratic South Africa constituted a new apartheid, where there is a racial double standard, and the black people are singing about killing the white people. I maintain my political view that affirmative action and black empowerment are not being implemented in a fair and constructive way in South Africa. However, I now acknowledge that they cannot be equated with apartheid, which was a crime against humanity that stripped black people of any meaningful opportunities in political, economic, social, and cultural spheres of life, and was maintained by, among other measures, the murder, disappearance, and arbitrary detention of political dissidents on the instruction of the state. I acknowledge now that the language I used in the video was unacceptable, degrading to black people, and harmful to social cohesion. I apologize unreservedly to the people of South Africa, both for the racial invective I expressed in the video itself, and for taking so many years to take full responsibility for it. I despise racism in all its forms and have always been committed to building a true non-racial South Africa. My actions over the past 15 years have clearly demonstrated this. During this period, when the video in question was made, I was actively involved in charitable work for people of all races, namely, raising over 250,000 Rand for various orphanages in Nelson Mandela Bay, assisted final year students in settling their accounts so that they could graduate, establish a weekly soup kitchen in needy communities that have fed over 1,500 people, assisted people in underprivileged communities in rebuilding their homes, which was burned down, through using my platform to raise funds. The evidence of all of the above is on my YouTube channel. The video in question had been viewed over 100,000 times by people all over the world. before I removed it from YouTube in 2013 and published an unprompted Facebook post stating as follows. I will never apologize for feeling the way I did back then, as there were various factors that brought out the rage in me. I will apologize though for not educating myself enough on certain topics before giving my opinion on them. It's only now, at the age of 30, that I get it. It took me some time to look at the other side of the coin and to put myself in someone else's shoes and completely understand the effects the history of our country has had on all of us. Thanks to those of you who got me and understood that I always only wanted the best for South Africa and all its people. To those of you who didn't get me and painted me as a racist or an idiot, I apologize. Not because I am a racist or an idiot, but because I failed you in my attempt to convey a message. I understand now that this was not an adequate apology for the things I had said in the 2010 video. It was vague and did not state clearly what I was apologizing for. More significantly, I failed to acknowledge and apologize for the deep pain and humiliation my words undoubtedly caused to black people, both at home and abroad. When a snippet of the opening words of the video resurfaced in June 2024 in an article on IOL, shortly after I was sworn in as a member of parliament, my words triggered national outrage. I maintained that I was treated unfairly by IOL and that they deliberately withheld the full context of those words from the public, for which they were ordered to apologize by the Press Council of South Africa. Soon afterwards, my membership of the Democratic Alliance was terminated, and I consequently lost my seat in Parliament. I maintained that I was treated unfairly by the DA for reasons I have given comprehensively elsewhere. On the 17th of June 2024, I posted an apology on X and similar apology on Facebook, stating among other things as follows. I posted a lengthy Facebook post from 2013 in which I apologized for how I delivered my message in my videos: angry, hostile, confrontational, and crass. I refute any claims of racism or being a racist. I can, however, see how my message was distorted in the way it was delivered by me, and I take full responsibility for the actions of my younger and immature self. For that, I apologize unreservedly. Subsequently, however, I was more defiant and dismissive of the outrage expressed by ordinary members of the public in reaction to my apology, and I accept that my reaction diluted the apology. I now recognize that my prior apologies were in fact limited and qualified, and therefore I use this opportunity to tender a full and unconditional apology. After the South African Human Rights Commission instituted a complaint against me in the Equality Court, I accused them of double standards and argued that they should be defunded. After engagements with the South African Human Rights Commission, I retract these remarks. The South African Human Rights Commission performs vital functions in our democracy, including combating racial hostility and hatred, and its officials do so with dedication and care. I maintain that they should have been swifter in their responses to certain racist utterances against white people in the past year. I have recently been made aware that other social media users vilify and dox specific South African Human Rights Commission officials. I condemn such actions. To all South Africans, especially black South Africans and black people globally, I am sorry. I'm sorry for the pain, anger, and trauma my words have caused, and I'm sorry for trying to justify, minimize, and sanitize them. I know that this apology does not erase what I said or did, but it is a step I must take to acknowledge the effect of my actions and begin to account for them. I remain committed to learning, listening, and doing the difficult work of repair. Renaldo Gouws. And there we go, ladies and gentlemen, an unconditional apology by myself for the video that I made 15 years ago in 2010. I hope that this can now be the end of this matter and that I can close this chapter of my life and move on towards better and greater things. Thank you for watching this video, and I do hope that you accept my apology. Thank you very much. Till later, cheers and peace out.